Hi everyone, and welcome back. Season's greetings to you all from what is an increasingly misty area of Jurasco, because we now have the entrance to Ravenloft, the misty chill of Lamordia, and now the free quest as well attached to here, which everybody can enter. I thought as this one came out this week, maybe we could have a little look at that in a minute. Here we find purple. It's taken me 10 minutes, believe it or not, to discover how to rotate the camera again. It's not something I typically do, but sat proudly astride his new purple Reaper steed from the recent Night Revel event. I'm quite pleased with that. As mentioned in the past, I'm stubbornly sticking to the caster druid playstyle with this character. First, because that's what he's been for some time already. Second, because I like the play style and the what it has to offer. And third, because unlike some of the player base, I definitely don't fancy having a second ranged character in my stable. So yeah, he's going to stay as a caster. He's actually been doing all right. I mean, yes, we don't really push the difficulties that much in the little group quests we do in our little guild, but between the CC and some AOE damage, and when I can remember to press the buttons, the terrific AOE ticking heals he's got, he does quite nicely. And the Moonlance Epic Strike still hits pretty hard if you're invested into tier 5 of the tree, as I am here, for the extra damage with it. So, yeah, Druid still lives on, at least in this little corner. Right, so what do we have today? I thought we could go and have a look at the quest first, and then if it's a complete disaster or I have to repeat it for any reason, I haven't lost too much. So, attached, as I said, to the mists area in Jurasco. We're not going to try it on any crazy level. Now, particularly with the end of this one in mind, I would recommend some sort of a spell absorb, some sort of absorb item for electric. This one I've got on here is, to me, hands down the best absorption item in the game. Very compelling defensive item. I've actually given up 50 insightful spell power to be able to equip that. Trying to show you. This is a disaster, Brian. Please look away now. I thought I had the old boots. I was wearing the sunken slippers with quality and insightful potency, but was struggling big time against stuff like Black Dragon Bolt and Burning Blood, that kind of stuff. So these are giving us a really nice elemental absorb now, if I can find it. There we go. So we've got obviously cold absorption as a cold druid is incredibly good anyway. I suppose could we push that higher with the fire thing? Fire shield, no. So we're classed as always having fire shield hot on, I guess. But if we put the cold one on, we can get fire absorption 80. So those two are really strong. And then electric acid and just electric and acid are in the high 50s now. It is noticeable, the difference. The reason I'm mentioning this, the end of this quest, spoiler alert, has a pretty nasty electric flaw to it, which really roasted me when I went in there without the absorb. So I took the decision, made a point of searching. We have a little section of our chat forum thing for our guild. Anybody who wants any item, we put it on this list, and then somewhat regularly we run the quests and try and locate the items for people. It's been quite a success, that, and obviously the more people we can rope into doing that, the quicker we find the items, particularly with the Myth Drana, because they can be quite stubborn to drop. So I was pleased to get that. Right, so let's get stuck into the quest. In company with plenty in the past, it's kind of a pull the levers to free the way forward. There is one section as well of pretty nasty traps. I'm gonna call it the gauntlet, I think. You'll know what I mean when we get there. The enemies thrown in there as well. It's pretty tasty. All in all, I think it's quite a decent quest,
You
this.
step out of the mists to find yourself in a dark, narrow hallway. You can hear the muffled sounds of a struggle from behind a metal door.
Quest-wise, I don't think there's much disagreement amongst the player base. I think we can mostly agree that the quests in the Lamordia chain are decent. It's just the loot system that's prompted such a negative reaction. But I'm not going to go back there. I've already laboured on that way too much. So you can see plenty of nice AoE damage and CC here. I think there's a lever in here that we need to pull to go further.
A large notebook sits on the desk. It looks like some kind
Speak to the scientist, okay.
The scientist says she was forced to barricade herself in her office after the laboratory subjects rebelled and took over the facility. She vaguely remembers hearing Felix's name in connection with experiments.
Love the range on all our spells. We've got enlarge on everything from the Fey Dart tree, the 5th core. Failing that, I would have taken enlarge as a feat because it's it really is that important. Sound of squeaks. I think we ought to just prepare ourselves here.
Laboratory ahead is sealed. 2 signal crystals nearby.
They walked right through it, didn't they? That wasn't exactly great. I just caught him out of the corner of my eye. Word of balance amazing on Reapers. If you didn't know how it worked, every step away from neutrality, they take an extra hit of damage. So a Reaper being, I think it's lawful evil, takes the full beans. Something lawful neutral would take half of it, and something true neutral like an elemental you would be completely wasting the spell on, as I have done many times in the past. Oh, where are you guys coming from? The old surprise attacks. My God. Let's not die so early. So twice now, Reaper just out of nowhere from behind. That's poor form, people.
The large door to the construct laboratory opens as the second crystal activates.
Okay, so these guys are gonna animate, I think.
A strange sight.
So we'll prepare the
shuffling
CC for them.
Seem to be worshiping a floating jar.
I think we've got another wave coming. That little ooze, if you were wondering, it's coming from... I'll show you in a second. I have a swap dino stick I use to cast the Core Lightning Storm, which has the ooze on it.
This experimental subject's rebellion.
So if I remember to do
at least it's been freed from its
the swap,
yet there's no sign of
I can get helpful assistance from them. And on the tanking side, taking the attention away from me, they're invaluable. You can also heal them. Right, so puzzle here, if you haven't seen the quest before, certain levers light up certain lights on the wall, and the idea is to get all 5 lights lit. God. I'm absolutely abysmal at these things. So that lit up both of those. And I think this one lights up the first and last, so that should be it. Okay, happy days. Green crystal lit up. On we go. Right, so again, making use of enlarge to try and pacify them from a safe distance if we can. Blindness, earthquake, trying to throw down all the CC to keep us safe when we close in to finish them off. The cold light of the moon here from the Magus tree, it does a ticking damage anyway, but when it explodes as it did there at the end of the duration, it actually explodes with quite a nasty damage too. Ooh. Keep having trouble with this DDO, what's it called? Treasure finder or something. Every now and again it keeps interacting with things that I don't want it to. Which one is it where the lever's only in one side? I think it's in this side.
This was a holding pen for test subjects. The doors had been torn off their hinges.
Okay, happy days. And a soul too. Oh, last one. So again, we're looking for, this time, 3 separate levers before we can get through into the main, the end room. So one is down here, the second one is in there that we already pulled, and the third one is somewhere up in this complex here. I think I'm right in saying the circle here, the cold light thing, it gives gives you a bit more defense if you're standing inside it, and also, oh, we've got a lever here. That's the second one. And also ticking damage again, and a chance to freeze, I think. Things that step into it, a random chance to freeze. So to throw it over a boss with your party mates fighting in and amongst is not a bad idea, I don't think. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to show you my fish. Let me see if I can remember the... Yeah, if I turn around there, can you see? Oh, we're not showing it very well there. Can we zoom in? There we go. So we can see a fried fish and a frozen fish. And how it came about completely by chance. We were searching for something else, as I mentioned on the little list that we have. Somebody had highlighted a certain quest. I think this one was in the Fred's Date, down at the bottom of the University Vecna area. And we happened to drop this thing at the end of the quest, frozen fish stick, and I looked at it, glaciation ice law, and insightful impulse. Impulse is force spell power, if you didn't know, and that's the two, cold and force, that the druid focuses on. Evo is our main spell school, well, almost only spell school on a cold druid. So I thought to myself, I actually could equip that, and I got egged on into changing it to the main weapon, so that's what we've done. So we have a frozen fish in this hand. The fried fish is not actually, it's a cosmetic, but the real one, I don't know if, can I show you, is it that one? That's the fried fish, so that would be nice for a fiery caster. But I just thought, in the interests of symmetry, we should go around battering people with the frozen and fried fish. I have no sense of street cred whatsoever. And of course, I've completely lost the thread now. We're going that way, aren't we? Try and target the middle one if we can. Guess, oh, this is the gauntlet now. These load of signs. Now, I don't know if a rogue would find some traps here, because we haven't been down it with a rogue. But it is a proper gauntlet. Thankfully for me, this character does have evasion and a half-decent reflex save, so he should be able to get through relatively unscathed, unless he rolls a 1. And then we've got some people, there's some guns down here, and then we've got some people further down as well. And our lever. Okay, so that's our 3 levers. And, oh, I almost made a real mistake going back through there. There's this teleporter that takes you back to the central area, where conveniently there is a shrine. Brian, at this point, I'm guessing you're still sat down in shock. It is a bit thirstier than I would like, this build. I could and should be more selective about which ones of the metas I put on which spells. I could save a lot of mana that way. For example, the Ice Storm, I just use as CC. It does very minimal damage, so it's got no need at all to be bloated by having stuff like Maximize put on it. So from the limited time we've done, I've only been in this end room twice. We know that we can take out the electric things on the side walls to stop the electric floor from going.
But he doesn't
Oh, speak to the rat.
A nearby rat looks at you.
But they're heavily, they're like end boss type hit points, so they take some beating. So I guess the other option is to have enough electric absorb and resist to beat the bosses down while healing through the damage. And can we see the? Yeah, can you see there? These are the things that they are actually hittable. But from what I can tell, you've got to kill both of them. I can't see as there's any kind of perch you can jump up on the sides. I tried on the bookcases and whatnot. I can't seem to get a safe place off the floor. So the only thing I can see is to try and just heal through the damage and hope for the best. And it is significant damage, sadly for us. I think there we've started, haven't we? After the main guy takes a certain amount of damage, the floor starts being electrified and we start getting all this pain. I wonder if I could I jump on this desk and avoid the damage? Possibly. I don't know. Don't know if that's working. Maybe it is. I think it probably is. Another option might have been to use the null magic guard from the Magus tree, which should make us pretty well immune to what he's chucking at us.
No more experiments. You've obtained what
But as you can see, when you've beaten the bosses, the floor thing stops. But yeah, it looks like... oh no, I could have used this as well. So there are various perches that you can use to avoid the hammering from the floor. Okay, duly noted. And as far as we can tell, there is the standard stuff dropping in here. You know, I think I might have one or two in inventory still. The Lamordia type stuff, is that one? Nope. There was a cloak and a hat I think we got. Just the standard things that you see in, and the pack ingredients as well drop in here. But you've obviously got to own the Lamordia pack to get access to the hall to spend those things. Right, we'll count that as a reasonable effort, I guess. I think there was too much panic on in the first time round to look for these little cheaty spots. And the actual quest giver is the door itself, so if you click on the door when you've completed it, you get your end reward. Okay. So, otherwise, of import this week, we've got the ongoing Fey event. I do see some sets of butterfly wings around the area, so some people have been going in and having a go, but I see plenty in the forum as well of oh yeah, not bothering with this. I kind of had a foot in both camps. Several of us went and collected all the loot when it started and enthusiastically began to do the event. Realised just how slow the motes were in coming and kind of lost interest. And then in the last week or so, we read about these golden motes and investigated one of those and just changed the approach a bit. Rather than trying for motes themselves, just carried on doing the regular quests with the loots equipped, And we found, to our surprise, that the loots begin to fill up reasonably well. It was only, what, 3 or 4 days ago that we had these to start with, and including you've got to take sort of 240 off there for the golden mote, but even so, several hundred points. As far as I can tell, the green ones give you a base of 6 plus 6 points to your loot thing on Reaper. Any Reaper, so Reaper 1 is probably ideal because the further up the Reaper you go, the more you're ramping up the difficulty of the things that come out of the loot. And believe me, if you're on, like the quest we were on there, Reaper, even low Reaper, we were on Reaper 4 there. I've been absolutely murdered by a green mote, thinking it was going to be an easy job. There was a red crown displacer beast came out, laughed at all my crowd control, and 3-shotted me. That was it. Boom, 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 gone. That was all she wrote, and that was a green one. So be careful if you're trying with the loot on the high level endgame stuff. Conversely, if you get one in a wilderness area, the encounter is dead easy, but I guess as that's classed as normal, your loot won't fill up very fast. My advice would be to just keep doing what you're doing. You know, if you're on the hamster wheel, then great. It tends to be Reaper 1, doesn't it? Steady away. Grab the motes when they come and just collect them, you know, during the course of regular questing. One thing I have noted is once the loots begin to fill up, this one's not showing it, but there's another one that's higher level. It starts giving you a level cutoff, like you must be level 5 or higher to put any more durability on this loot, or you must be level 10 or higher to that kind of thing. So I'm thinking towards the back end of the journey, you're going to have to be in epic to finish off the durability and collect your prizes. These are, of course, summer ones. The summer ones are the non-hardcore version. I'm not into the hardcore thing at all, but fair play to those of you who are. The one thing I really don't like about this particular hardcore thing is it's buggering up all the surrounds of the items. That one there, for instance, you can see they have a notice on the top to say it dropped within the Symphony of the Fey event, and that's to show you that you can use that during the winter hardcore side of it. But it also, especially for relatively colourblind folk like me, makes it quite difficult to see that that is actually a named item. And I'm sure I've skipped over a few just thinking they were bog standard loot, because there's nothing now to differentiate a named item from a standard, bog standard. That's another one there. That's a named item. But unless you mouse over and make sure, so it's a bit of a shame that I would have liked it to appear different, but hey ho, we've got that until February, I think the event runs. So I think anybody who wants a reward from the event, you've got ample time just going steady away. No need to nosebleed farm anything. Just do it during the course of regular questing. If you get a few of those purple ones in succession, the progress soon mounts up. And if you've got a friend or two in the quest with you, you can manage. They're not that bad, as long as you're not doing some crazy level of Reaper. So I think we'll actually end up completing these butterfly wing things. It's not really my thing, as you might have noticed. I never wear Reaper wings on any character, or these. They're quite nice, but I just don't. It's not my thing. These electric wings that they gave out during the dragon event. Where are they? They're classed as a feat, aren't they? Maybe this character never claimed them. But there's electric wings and footprints, aren't there, that came during the Year of the Dragon event. It's not really my scene. But I am grouping at the moment with a little gnome wizard who would quite like to have the butterfly wings. So in time, I think we're gonna manage that. There is one other. I mean, let's go with the positives from the event. One of my, well, the little gnome I was grouping with quite rightly mentioned that it's just a nice way to sort of freshen up what would otherwise be quests that we've done, some of us dozens of times before. And she was quite right. I can't argue at all with that point, especially since she made it just after an absolutely farcical incident once. The two of us had split up during the Madstone Crater quest, as you do, to prepare separate crystal shatterings, together. And it just so happened that the moat sprung up near her location, a purple one, as luck would have it. And A, she ran out of mana, and B, she's a Pale Master Necromancer, so all the negative energy stuff. And out pops a dark, what was it, Scath, the negative energy horse. So she was healing him, he was healing her, and it was destined to go on forever. I couldn't move because I was preparing the second crystal, so that was just a memorable, somewhat farcical and amusing little anecdote from our Fey event so far. But I do agree, as something just sort of on the side. I know those wanting to make the most out of their potions, for instance, probably won't be fans of the loot thing because it's a bit of a hold up, to every time a moat drops. But at least now, talking after the update 77, obviously, because I've just shown you the new quest, the moat spawn time has been reduced. So there's none of this silly waiting around at the end of a quest unless you really are completing it in 2 minutes or something. The moats typically spawn early to mid quest, and you still only get one per quest, but at least you're not having to wait around and see if one will grace you with its presence. So that was the plus side, the fun and the somewhat random element. There is one negative. I don't understand why, and it does cause a problem. That the moats, when they spawn, there's nothing to be gained, and I don't think it's part of the game that you should attack and deplete the hit points of the moat, but they are all targetable, and that causes an absolute nightmare when you're in a situation that maybe you've got several targets on the screen, either from other things that are passing by or from things that have come out of the moat. And each time you can waste very important spells by accidentally targeting the moat as you're cycling through. It's less than ideal. That I don't know why they've made them targetable like that. There you go, butterfly wings, for those who haven't seen them yet. So that's a bugbear with me. I'm less than happy about that. Just means you really have to pay attention. Like sometimes at the end of one of the purple encounters, it's a red boss and the moat is next to it, and just be damn careful that you're targeting the red boss and not the moat. Okay. I think that's about all I had to say about the event. Just for interest, if some of you are not aware of it at all, there's a nice wiki section on it. You can get started in the hut in the harbour collecting your various loot. There is one special golden moat event for each different loot. Just to clarify, as this was a bit of a grey area for us as well, you can only collect a golden moat on each loot once. I don't think mine is saying there that it has one, but it does have one. I think it's because it's not equipped. If we equip the loot, it should. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's why it wasn't saying. Can you see there? Musical motes 1. So it's telling me if I'm not level 5 or higher, I can't progress the loot from collecting motes. So the more durability it has on it, the higher level you have to be. And it's also telling us we've acquired the golden mote. So don't go thinking you can shortcut it and go and harvest yourself 5 of these golden motes to complete it in a day. That's not going to happen. Okay, what else have I got here? I think that's it for the Fey event. Oh yeah, we were doing a bit of Ravenloft, and we were doing really well. We were doing at Cap in Reaper, and it was purple actually. It was in there, so it was. I was in there with one other guildmate. I can't remember what character they were doing, but we did really well. Against the odds, we made it more or less unscathed to the very last quest, the very last room. So Strahd appears, along with Vengeance Reaper in tow. Vengeance Reaper blows up. And we're sort of fighting for our lives, and then suddenly, out of nothing, Soul Stone and 25,000 damage. I kid you not. I think it's in his profile here as a new record. There you go. The previous record was about 10,000 from Urk. Look at this. Ruin. 25,000 damage. I just thought, oh no. What a way to go. I mean, granted, that was Vengeance buffed, but I guess even without the help of the Vengeance, that would have been a death. Not cool, Mr. Strahd. Not cool. So I'm wondering what, if any of you out there, what record you have of damage taken. I know there are some pretty crazy numbers of damage given, especially when there are like specific vulnerabilities. I think there's is it the bull thing in Project Nemesis is particularly vulnerable to negative damage, or was. I don't know if that's still the case. And I think I read about people getting 500,000 or even 1,000,000 shots on him once upon a time. But damage taken, what's your highest damage taken that you've had and died from, obviously? That's I guess that was going with a bang. That's by far the highest I've ever seen. Okay. Oh yes, so the yesterday's update, among other things, they fixed that there were 1 or 2 bugs that had been introduced, one of which actually favoured the player base quite heavily, didn't it? If you didn't know, the weapon finesse feat has now been redone to give, I think, 10% fort bypass, which is nice. That's competitive, I think, to, if you are on something like a ranged build and you're just rounding it out with stuff like weapon focus range and power critical, that 10% fort thing, I think for me at least, would always be right up, above that kind of stuff. But the thing about this was, as I came to realize reading little bits of the forums, it wasn't just giving the 10%, it was giving 120%, something about all the 12 different weapon types or something that could be used to, with that feat, something like that. But as I understand it now, any weapon user can take that feat for a corrected 10% extra fort bypass, which to me is probably worth a heroic feat on many builds. And I think there's +1 or 2 attack to hit as well with that. So not too shabby. Something from the previous update, the Death Ward issue, I've noticed it plenty often fighting shadows. We are no longer immune, are we, when protected by Death Ward? No longer immune to the strength damage from shadows. So stuff like this Panacea to wipe out ability score damage is more important than ever. for my druid. I'm gonna switch now to my little dwarfish tank character, just quickly, to show another important update that they've done recently. And this is to do with this Battleguard thing for the extra PRR and MRR. Certain attacks now have been granted this Battleguard, and I want to go and demonstrate this if I can on our Magefire cannon on the ship. Just how easy it is, especially on a tanky character, to stack these things. So let's just show you the two things I'm talking about, and show you the resting. So he's 480 PRR, 270 odd MRR to start with. It's a low life tank, but he's reasonably well geared. It's not terrible. And one of them is there, the Epic Strike in Sentinel. So it's telling you there, Battleguard 10 PRR and MRR per stack, stacks 5 times. So even if you don't hit, if you can see on that, if you're using a shield in combat, which we are, you gain 1 extra stack regardless if you hit or miss. I don't know if it might just trigger even if we don't have an opponent to hit. Let's just see that. No, we have to actually try and hit something for it to go. And the other one is in the regular enhancements in the Vanguard Paladin tree. Now we were basically taking filler at the bottom of here to get to the missile deflection thing. So to now have this on a short cooldown, shield smash, giving Battleguard as well. Let me just try and demonstrate just how quick we can stack up the 50 of each. Where's the cannon thing? It's here. How do we... there we go. Right. So I've got, that's my throw the boom. So it's these two, shield smash and mandate. So if I bring up the stat, you can see we're on our base things, and see how quickly the things go up. See, already we're at 5 stacks. Battleguard, that quickly, 50 PRR and MRR. That's crazy good on any sort of beefy character. Now, did you notice then the stacks all faded at once? So how it works is when you start off with the stacks, you get this 12-second timer, and if you let that at any time lapse, the whole lot just disappears at once. It's not like a gradual decay. You've either got the stacks or you haven't. So that's a bit of a bind. But in our situation here as a tank, where we're basically only going to be doing this shield smash and the celestial thing, we can just stand sort of circling the target and doing this. I know it's not ideal, but I've never made use of block really much anyway. So for me, this is just awesome. This extra layer of defense. I mean, we can, what can we say, 84.2 against 82.7. So it's giving a nice little chunk of extra defense, probably more in percentage terms to the MRR, because that started off as a lower number. So 50 on there is probably more valuable than it is on that one. I just thought I'd stop and show that because it's easily attainable and pretty effective from what I can tell. So it's in the... Hang on, can I just go away from this? It's obviously there in the Paladin Vanguard tree, but also in the... Let me get this right. It's in Kensai as well, isn't it? I think it's the Read in the Wind attack, because there was a bit of a bug there, wasn't there, where I think something was Battleguard going on the enemies when it was being used or something. But I think that's been corrected. But the Read in the Wind, again, is a low-hanging fruit. So these fighty classes have been given some real opportunities here to get beefed up defenses, you know, at very low levels too. I can hear some people saying, you know, it's overpowered and that, but I've always, since I came very late to the party on the melee side of things, I've always been acutely aware of the, you know, having to take or either mitigate by dodging or, you know, PRR or whatever, the incoming damage to be able to give the damage yourself. So for the melees to be benefiting from something, you know, chunky like this, I don't see that as necessarily a bad thing. I do actually have one level of fighter on my barbarian, so I could go on that Shadekai barbarian build you might have seen. I could go a little bit into the Kensai tree and acquire the Read in the Wind, but it's just another button to press all the time. As against this, these would be the only thing I would really be doing. The odd heal, and then just circling around the opponent and keeping up these stacks. That would be my thing pretty much with this tank. So it kind of gives me something extra to do, which is nice. Something impactful. Whereas on the barbarian, there's already too many little buttons, little short-term boosts to press. Which brings me to my next point. I know some people are quite happy to press all the little buttons and eke out every last little bit of, you know, that they can. Some of us just don't like pressing any short-term stuff at all, just like doing the buffs at the start and that's it, and just get on with the quest and having fun. I can see that too. I'm somewhere in the middle. If it's something that's going to give me a really significant boost, like the Reaper's Double Strike or maybe Vistani coins, that kind of thing, and if it's not like every 10 seconds, then I can bring myself to do it. But I must say that barbarian build, you know, having to try and remember to do cracking attack every 10 seconds and the rapid slash every 10 seconds or whatever it is, I would prefer not to have it like that, put it that way. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I definitely don't do the little apple things, you know, from the Night Revel event, the candied this and almond that. If they were like they were originally, there was, what was it, 10-minute duration, I would have loved that and I would have used it religiously, even for the small bonus. But for the small bonus, you know, clicking ones every 40 seconds or whatever it is, no. I'm just not that way inclined. So I guess, I think, personally, I would like to go as much away from all the little buttons as possible, have them integrated maybe into like less impactful but longer lasting buffs maybe, and where there is a short-term little button, make it, you know, really memorable, like let's say the time stop, which I do use to good effect on the Cold Druid. Something like that. Instead of these little things that you know, that all add up to make maybe a pretty big thing. Okay, I think I've about said my piece on that, but I think you'll agree with me. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? That Battleguard thing. Have you folks experimented with it at all? Do you find it to be overpowered, or you enjoying it maybe on any tanky characters you might have? I think it would have gone particularly well with the Paladin character, the tanky paladin that I was playing before I switched to the barbarian. If you happen to see that one, it was heavily invested in the sentinel tree and on the defensive side of things, and carried a shield, obviously, so I could have totally taken advantage of this, and it was already robust enough that it was tanking the dragon in the threat on the low difficulties. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen what this could do for that build. Not that it needed beefing up, or at least not in my opinion, but it could certainly have reaped the rewards from this, because it was in trees that it was basically already in. Right, I think that does it for now. Thanks very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.